Okay, fam. So today, instead of drinking beer and buying stocks, we're drinking beer and paying off mortgages. That's right, guys. I have officially paid off my mortgage. I should say my wife and I, as a family, we paid off our mortgage and we could not be more excited. Now, I got to say this first. I know this is a stock market channel, so the algorithm of YouTube is probably going to annihilate me for posting this video on my main channel. But I wanted to do it for a couple reasons. One, because I wanted to showcase to my viewers out there that I'm not all just about stocks. Helping people with personal finance is something that's very, very important to me. And to be honest, that's actually the whole reason why I started this channel 2.5 years ago. And it kind of just morphed into be a stock channel. But I think having an everyday, average person, average American, average wherever you are watching in the world, it's very important that you have a good, solid understanding of personal finance and how you, as an average individual, can become better with finances. And that's exactly why me and my buddy of mine, Brad Finn, another YouTuber, teamed up and created the Average Money Podcast, because we talk about this stuff all the time. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, click that link down below in the description and make sure you subscribe to the Average Money Podcast. You guys can listen to it anywhere you can listen to podcasts on the daily. And I just really think it's important to understand that there needs to be this foundation of understanding of how money works and how you can handle your money before you really move forward and get started with other things. Now, like I said, we did pay off our mortgage and we could not be more excited. And there's a few reasons I want to touch on today why we did that, how we did that. I'm going to go through the actual numbers. You guys will see the amount, the house that we paid for, what it's worth now, how much we paid off, how fast we paid it off. I'm going to go through everything today for you guys. So I hope you stick around, and I'm doing this for motivation. I'm doing this to showcase to you guys why we paid off our mortgage. Is this the best thing to do mathematically for investing? Absolutely not. I could have made a shit ton more money if I would have just thrown all my money that I put towards a mortgage in the market. I really could. I could have made a lot more money. But there's a reason why I did this, and we'll get to this a little bit more in detail in the video, but I'll be honest with you when I say this. I do not regret this one bit. If anything, I feel so much better knowing that the mortgage is completely paid off. And I will definitely drink to that. So one thing Brad and I stress over at the Average Money Podcast is that personal finance is personal to you. It's personal to every single person out there. Not every single person is going to do something the one way. You know, there's a different path for every single individual that is out there. And that's very important to understand, because some of you may be watching this video and think that I'm a complete idiot for paying off my mortgage this early. And some of you out there may be in my situation, or maybe want to lower your risk tolerance or lower your overall expenses to be able to reach financial freedom and financial independence that much faster. Because here's the thing. When you lower your total expenses, you don't have to make as much money. And we'll talk about this again. I'm getting so ahead of myself because I'm so excited. But for real, guys, think about this for a second. You know, if you don't have many expenses right now, to be honest, my wife and I only have the only thing we have to worry about is taxes, insurance, and the random expenses to fund our lifestyle for groceries and keep the lights on and water, whatever that may be. The lower you can reduce your overall expenses, that's faster that you can get to financial freedom or financial independence and be able to retire early or make the decisions that you want to make in life. And that's the whole reason why we invest in the stock market. We invest in the stock market because we want to be able to fund our lifestyle down the road, have the money there grow for us, and to be able to live off that income down the road when we choose to retire or when we choose to leave our day job. Or maybe we build up enough nest egg and we're able to make a more crazier life decision, like I've done recently, to completely quit my 9-to-5 job and focus on a more of a rewarding journey and something that I absolutely wake up every single morning and still can't believe I get to do to this day. And that's be able to, start my own business and have a YouTube channel and a podcast. And it's an amazing feeling that I was able to do this. But one of the reasons why I wanted to pay off my mortgage was for that exact reason, to be able to take these risks. Because I have a family. I have 2 kids. My wife recently just quit her job. So it's up to me to make the money to keep our lifestyle alive, to keep the lights on, to keep the food on the table. So that's one of the reasons why it's so important, and the reason why I wanted to get this mortgage off of our backs. because that's about $1,000 a month that I never have to worry about again. That's $1,000 a month that I get back to spend and do whatever I want with. Put more into investing, buy another rental property, whatever that may be. Okay, so enough rambling. Now let's talk numbers. So my wife and I purchased this house about 3 years ago, and we purchased this house for $160,000. Now I know you guys are going to be like, oh my God, I live in California, or I live in New York. There's no way I could purchase a house, and no wonder you could pay it off so fast. But hold on for a second. You know, we could go live in California if we wanted to. We could go live in New York. We could do whatever we wanted. But we chose to live in a more relatively lower cost of area to be able to have the freedom to now we can go choose to travel to California and stay there for a couple weeks if we want to. Or, you know, we can choose to fly to New York or go to Hawaii and stay there for a couple months if we want to, because our home base is in a lower cost of living area. Now, I'm not saying you guys have to do that. I just know I'm going to get the comments saying like, oh, well, JJ, a house in California costs $2.7 million. I get that. Trust me, I get it. But no one's telling you have to live in California. You know, if you want to go buy a cheaper house, you can move here in the Midwest where, you know, homes are cheap and you can still live a very good life. So I don't want that to like turn everyone off. I just want to make it a point that, you know, we could have chosen to bought a more expensive house. And I want to get to that in a second. So our purchase price was $160,000, and my wife and I chose to put down a 25% down payment. Now, a couple reasons why we did that. We wanted to choose over 20% so we didn't have to pay PMI, because to me, PMI is completely wasting money. It's throwing $100 bills out the window. It's a waste. I say try to get 20% down when you're going to buy a personal home. So we had a down payment of around $40,000 plus our closing costs, which is probably roughly around $4,000 or so, give or take. So coming up with about $44,000 total in our cash to close on this property. Now, the first year we lived in this house, we didn't have plans on really paying off the mortgage as quick as we did. We knew we didn't want to hold this mortgage for 15 years. We knew that. But we didn't plan on paying it off in 3 years. I'll be completely honest with you. It still blows my mind to this day. But we did really, the first year we moved into this house, you know, I was just getting started on YouTube. I didn't really understand quite how much of a business this could turn into. It was more of just like a fun hobby for me to do. And I had a passion to help people with finances and bettering themselves with money and investing, that it was just fun for me. You know, I wasn't really making money at the time yet. It was just kind of a hobby. So year 2 now, I'm starting to make a little bit more of an income from YouTube. I'm starting to see, okay, my channel's starting to grow a little bit. I'm starting to get some sponsorships, like stuff starting to really open up. I'm like, wow, I could actually make, you know, a pretty good living doing this if I stick with it. So turn to year 3, which is where we are now, and I've actually, you know, I chose to leave my full-time, safe W-2 job. My wife wasn't really working at the time. She was working PRN as a nurse at the hospital in St. Louis. And I was taking a very, very big risk. I had 2 kids at home. I had a family at home. And I was nervous as hell to be able to do this. But I was like, I have to take this chance. The reason we were able to take this chance is because we knew the mortgage was going to be paid off soon. We didn't have any other debt. We live a pretty simple life, guys, to be honest. We don't live an extravagant life. I mean, hell, we still drive the same car my wife drove whenever she was in high school. So if that tells you anything right there, we are pretty simple people. We do love to travel. We do spend a lot of money on traveling because that's something that's very, very important to us. So now we're at year 3, and we kind of decided, okay, I'm going to be quitting my job. I'm moving towards more of a risky position where like YouTube could cancel me like any second, and I don't have any other income coming in. So that was another big reason why we wanted to pay off the mortgage. To one, because of my job and kind of the industry I'm in, but also two, to have those lower expenses and to be able to reach financial freedom that much faster. Now, some of the ways we're reaching financial freedom, which that's a whole nother video, and that you can actually watch those videos on my second channel, number 4 bucks. But we do that by investing in real estate and then investing in the stock market through dividend investing and cash flow from our rental properties. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about paying off the mortgage. So the year 3, we decided we're gonna kick this thing in the butt. The past 3 or 4 months or so have been very profitable for the business. I have done very well on YouTube these past 3 months. I'm blessed. I thank God every single day for giving me this opportunity to make the type of money that I'm doing and to still be able to enjoy the time that I have with my kids and my family and do the things that we get to do. I honestly feel so blessed, and I thank each of every one of you who take the time to watch my videos, who I would not be able to do this if it wasn't for you guys. So again, thank you all so much. But with all that being said, that's kind of our thought process moving down the road. And we said, okay, if we knock out this mortgage, we're going to be good. If I have a couple low, not making any money months, we will still be okay because we only have to keep the lights on and keep food on the table. We can adjust our lifestyle as we go. Now, some of you may be asking, and I got a lot of DMs. I posted this on Instagram, and I had so many people reach out to me saying, hey, congrats, JJ, that's awesome, but how in the hell did you and your wife do this? Well, the first way we did this is we tend to live on a budget. And I know it's probably a cuss word to some of you guys, but it's really the biggest thing I think that can help any couple or any single individual get better and farther ahead with money is by living on a budget. When you put every single dollar to work and you know where every single dollar is going to go, you will understand how much money you can have at the end of the month to put towards savings, to put towards the mortgage, to put towards investing, whatever that is. When you have that dedicated and you have that down pat, you will be able to get ahead that much further and that much faster with your finances. Nowadays, my wife and I don't really budget anymore, but it's because we've budgeted for so long. I know what number we need to be at, and we put everything on our credit cards for reward points. We pay them off at the end of the year, but I know roughly where we need to be at, and if we're going over a little bit, I'm like, hey, babe, let's back it down a little bit, but we don't really keep a budget on every single transaction anymore just because it's kind of a waste of our time because we've been budgeting for literally 5 years or so. So we kind of know where we need to be at. So the second way that we were able to pay off the mortgage is that we live way below our means. I've kind of mentioned this already, so I'm not going to stick on this point too much. But as you could tell earlier, like we still drive the car that my wife had in high school. I mean, we don't really go buy the new fancy cars. We don't really go spend extravagant amounts of money on anything. Like we'll go out to nice steak dinners every now and then. And, we buy ourselves things when we need it. But honestly, we probably spend more money on our kids than anything. I mean, I wear drink beer, buy stocks t-shirts, and sweatpants and jeans every day. That's about it. But really, to wrap it up, I mean, we live a simple life, and we believe that we would rather put more money towards investing, towards our financial future, to live the life that we want to live and to not be slaved down to a 9 to 5 and have someone dictate our schedule for us. We think it's much more important to be able to put our money aside to be able to help our future selves live the life that we want to live and live a happy life. Because to be honest, guys, we never know when our last day on this earth is going to be. I could die tomorrow. I really could. It's morbid to say that, but I could die tomorrow. But if that happens, I'll tell you this. I died a happy man. Like, I honestly could say that. I obviously don't want to leave my kids at a young age not having a dad. That would be horrible. But as for me as a person, I'm in a happy place right now. I really do feel like I'm the happiest I've ever been. But with that, the third way we were able to pay off our mortgage so early is that we bought a house that was way less than we could afford. So some of my OG subscribers, you guys will know this. We actually were thinking, we had land purchased. We had land purchased where we live, and we were going to build our dream home. Right? So we were going to buy our dream home, and we ended up deciding that this home that we live in now, that we paid off the mortgage for, it popped on the market right when we had our plans made out and everything. We were working with an architect. Everything was done. And we were getting ready to break ground, and then this home popped up, and I was like, this is a sign. It's a sign. Babe, let's do this. We know we want to take chances down the road. We know we don't want to be in our jobs the rest of our lives. And if we would have built this house, it could have been a $400,000+ home is what we're probably thinking about building, to where we ended up buying a $160,000 house instead. That was one of the biggest, greatest decisions I think my wife and I have ever made in our lives, was buying less of a home. Guys, we don't need a lot of space. We don't need, to be honest, I think I love living in a smaller home because I get to spend more time with my family and we get to be more closer. We're not all lost in these different areas of this huge home. We're all together, and I love that. I'm a big family man. I think family is the most important thing. So buying a house that was way less than you can afford, I think is a very, very important way to be able to pay off the mortgage at a pretty fast rate. And again, we chose not to build that home. So we took that short-term gratification. We took that big thing that we really wanted and said, no, let's not do it. This is much more important to us, and by God, I'm so glad we did that. Now, guys, the fourth and final way we were able to pay off this mortgage is because I started a side hustle. I mean, to be honest, in today's age, we all know if you just work your 9 to 5 and that's it, and then you go home, you eat dinner, you sit on the couch, you watch a couple seasons of Netflix of whatever episode you're watching, you can live a good life doing that. But if you want the extra life, if you want that more stuff to go through, if you want the extra step, if you want to live that more extravagant life, you're going to have to create extra income somehow. And if you want to reach financial freedom or financial independence fast, creating a side hustle is probably one of the best things you can do. Me, I chose to go the YouTube route. I wanted to help people with their money. I'm now starting a podcast. I figured this would be the best way for me because I love connecting with people and I love talking about money. So it literally is the best of both worlds. Now, if you're wanting to create a side hustle that's more of, maybe you want to start a construction company. I know friends of mine who start construction companies and do stuff on their own on the side on nights and weekends. It's a grind. It's tough. Trust me. There's hard times. But if you want to get there, you got to be willing to do the work that most people don't want to do. And I had to do that to be able to become successful in YouTube like I am today. And I thank God every day for that. So that's probably the another big way that we are really able to ramp up the process, because the money I'm making now on YouTube is quite a bit more than what I was making at my day job. So we were able to tack on a lot more on the mortgage, and we officially paid it off as of yesterday. And I'm filming this on February 9th. So first of all, cheers to that. I mean, gosh, it's just crazy to even say that the mortgage is gone. But guys, that's how we did it. Those are the steps, those are the ways, those are the numbers, those are the reasons why. If you guys stuck around to the end of this video, first of all, thank you, because I know this one's a long one. Actually, if you stuck around to the end of this video, leave me 2 thumbs up emojis. 2 thumbs up emojis so I guys know you guys stuck around to the end of this video. Because, wow, I know this one's a long one. And I know this one's probably not going to get any views. The algorithm's going to hate me for this, but I wanted to get this message out there to where if I can inspire one person, or one couple or one family to work their ways to get closer to financial freedom and financial independence, then I feel like that was a success. So I don't do this to brag, guys. I don't do this to say, hey, look at me, I paid off my mortgage. I made this video for inspiration. I had other people inspire me doing big things with money. I want to return the favor and inspire you to do big things with money. So again, I want to say thank you all so much for watching. I'm still shocked to this day that we were able to pull this off. And I'm still shocked to this day that I'm able to do something that I truly love to do. And I'm honestly probably the happiest man I could have ever been. I got a beautiful wife. I have 2 beautiful kids. And I have a job that lets me do what I want to do and be happy for doing that. So it's been absolutely an amazing time. But guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all so much for watching. For the beer today I was drinking, it was actually from Costco. And, as you all know, I'm a Natty Light guy, but I do like to try these different craft beers every now and then. And hazy IPAs are becoming my new favorite go-to craft beers. This is from Sierra Nevada. It's called Hazy Little Thing IPA, and it is delicious. I love this brewski. So give this one a try at your local Costco if you haven't already. And guys, again, thank you all so much for watching. And until the next one, you all take care. Cheers.